Welcome to the Light Cellar Podcast, brought to you by Light Cellar, a place where you can learn to find and craft your own food and medicine. In this interview series, you will meet a range of characters in the health and wellness space that are bringing light to your everyday. You'll hear from a number of different experts on a wide variety of topics. We have several different series within the podcast, including our Wild Wisdom and Storytelling with Blaine Andrusic, the Rays of Light, inspiring wellness in the community, plus solo casts, Q&As, and other topics for you to enjoy. You can find this as a video version, as well as the audio on any of your favorite platforms. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this with somebody you know who will benefit. You can also shop online at lightcellar.ca. All right, hello, welcome back. Another episode of Herbal Highlights with Angela Bewick.
And Malcolm Saunders.
Yeah.
Sanders. Good old Malcolm Saunders. It's Saunders, everyone.
There we are. Yeah. Okay, well, in this episode, we're going to talk about a new something, flavorful herbaceous syrup we've created.
It's really nice.
Yeah, and we're going to jump off on that to talk about kind of our word of the day as well, which is going to be totally related. And by popular request, there was a question that came in.
Who the hell is Angela?
Yeah, who's Angela? Yeah, I guess I take it for granted, having known you for so many years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Me too. I also take it for granted.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're just tuning in or you've watched all the episodes that we've ever done, this is our opportunity to introduce you to Angela. Share a little bit of who you are, your background. Yeah, what you're bringing to the table here, what you're doing here, and where you like to go. And
beautiful.
Yeah. Fill in the blanks.
Okay. Let's talk about our product first, because I realized that you came up with this product. You sent me a text with just the name of it.
Yeah.
And what it was. And I never asked you what made you think of it, what inspired this.
Yeah, okay.
idea.
So we're talking about a little something I called Feeling Fresh and Focused. And it came as a result of, because on my desk, well, here and at home and, all the places I've got like jars of like
Various
I've got
herbs.
tinctures, I've got hydrosols, I've got oils, I've got all kinds of things for kind of any mood that I'm feeling in. Mm-hmm. And obviously I love the conifers, so if it's not pine syrup or spruce syrup or, something like that, or the wild wellness. So that's always kicking around. And then I've been really digging rosemary. I absolutely love rosemary. And this was in the hydrosol form. And I think what I initially did was pine pollen or pine syrup. It has the pollen, it has the rosemary hydrosol. And then where did I get mint? Something like that. And I had a lion's mane and I just kind of mixed them all together. And took a sip. I was like, ooh, that is good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, feeling good.
And you're feeling fresh and focused. Also, we have a local grower.
That's right.
Who supplies us with
the fresh rosemary.
The fresh rosemary, which is the best rosemary I've ever...
This side of the Rockies,
yes,
for sure.
It's really potent. Like as soon as first of all, it looks beautiful. The color is there, which tells you when a plant has that bright color, there's a lot of power, a lot of nutrition, a lot of phytochemistry in that plant. Yeah. And they had grown mint and rosemary. Yeah,
and we've been getting stuff from them for a little while now, especially for the rosemary hydrosol, to be able to do that fresh, just the aromatics, everything. And so this time we tinctured it, and just the vibrancy, like you say, the green just...
Yeah, it was the most green thing. It looked like if you've ever had chlorella or spirulina, chlorella especially, or greens powders, and you've mixed it in water, this is what the rosemary tincture looked like after it was tinctured for not even that long.
No, for sure. It came out
very potent.
Yeah.
And the flavor of rosemary is very, very strong. It's like it kind of overtakes whatever you're making with it.
Which, if you like rosemary, is a good thing.
Is a good thing.
Yeah.
But if you're blending it with other things, you have to kind of balance it out a little bit.
And I think we did a good enough job, getting the mint in there is not a feature, but a supportive flavor. Yeah.
And mint is notoriously difficult to pull out of things. It's really nice fresh. It's really potent. But when you try to tincture fresh or do a honey with fresh.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes a little bit of coaxing. You really need to chop it up to increase the surface area of the plant. And I think dry might be a better option if you are ever doing something like that.
Yeah,
because the dry has all of the water taken out of it, so those cells are kind of thirsty, and you can put stuff on them, and they'll maybe give you a little bit more medicine. But
yeah, and the hydrosol of the mint worked really well too.
it did work really well.
Yeah, so that's what helped. We did a fresh mint honey,
Yes.
but it was really the hydrosol that brought up that mint context. And we've all had mint. We know how amazing it feels, how refreshing. So yeah, there was a lot of inspiration, kind of, bringing all that together. And then of course lion's mane, that's locally grown here. That was tinctured. And
this is a very local product, actually.
Yeah.
So we've got the rosemary in it in tincture, hydrosol, and honey form.
Yeah.
Rosemary honey works really well, by the way, to all you out there. If you're curious, just throw it in some honey. We have mint, hydrosol, honey. We didn't use a tincture for
That's
it.
right, no.
And then we did spruce.
Yeah, or pine.
We did pine.
Yeah.
Hydrosol.
White pine tincture.
White pine tincture, that's right.
And then tea as well.
Yes.
Kind of.
Because it was a dual extraction.
Dual extract.
And then lion's mane tincture in it as well.
Yeah. So apart from the obvious of what we talked about in terms of like that just upliftment, that refreshingness, that focus. Well, I guess the focus. So our word of the day.
Word of the day
is I've always been pronouncing it as nootropic because that's how it's spelled, but I've just learned it's nootropic. Yeah, of which
it's probably one of those words you can say in different ways, but it's N-O-O.
That's right. Okay.
T-R-O.
So here's where we're going to get our kind of definition description. The adaptogens, David Winston, herbs for strength, stamina, and stress relief. Love this book.
We have this book in the store.
Yeah. Okay, so another category in herbal medicine, obviously, the adaptogens, there's nervines, there's nutritives, there's all these different classes of herbs. And the nootropics are especially useful for enhancing emotional and mental well-being, promoting cerebral circulation. So the word nootropic is derived from Greek words nuos, which is mind, tropos, abend, meaning acting on the mind. These can be herbs, they can be supplements, even pharmaceuticals, like specifically dubbed as smart drugs. They are used to enhance memory, slow or prevent the onset of age or Alzheimer's-related disease-related cognitive decline, reduce oxidative or ischemic damage to the brain, and improve mood. Research have found them very effective and safe to ward off mental decline in our increasingly aging population. And so there's a number of different herbs that are listed in here. Definitely not a complete list, but if you've ever heard of bacopa, nootropic, ginkgo, gotu-kola, lavender.
Lavender, I did know that one.
Yeah.
And gotu-kola, you said that one? Yeah, Centella.
Ginkgo, white peony, and rosemary. There's a couple others in there too, but if we just kind of bump ahead to rosemary, did you know there's an old saying, rosemary is for remembrance?
I did not know that. Yeah. I totally forgot.
So according to a pamphlet published in 1607, rosemary helpeth the brain, strengtheneth the memory, and is very medicinal for the head.
I love it. For inside and outside, because I know rosemary is often used. We have a rosemary mint oil here that's really helpful for increasing hair growth, and I imagine that has to do with its circulatory benefits.
Like stimulating the follicles, that and the mint as well.
Yeah. And so that's maybe how it helps also with memory, and it just improves circulation where blood flows, health goes.
So apparently modern herbalists use it for people with cloudy thinking, menopausal brain fog, liver headaches, which are like the pain behind the ears, stagnant depression, postural hypertension.
Oh, interesting.
And to prevent arteriosclerosis, among other things. So cardiovascular and neuroprotective help. Yeah, mild
Awesome.
nervine, nootropic, carminative, helps with digestion, and liver tonic, as well as antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. So
Very antioxidant.
it's not just for your lamb and potatoes.
No, it's not, but it does taste great in lamb and potatoes.
Yeah, and that flavor and also the digestion really helps with, like fatty foods like lamb.
Yes, absolutely. Let's try some.
potatoes. Yeah.
So we're going to taste some. So we invite you, this should be on the shelf
Yes.
in the next few days, I think.
Maybe even before this video goes live.
Maybe even before the video. So we invite you to come in and try it.
Yeah.
And then pick it up and enjoy it at home.
Totally delicious. We've been sharing this around. I love these syrups, just for the flavor.
The syrup, it's a nice combination of the tincture and the syrup together. So it's got that lovely little kind of zing that you get from tinctures, but also just the sweetness, pleasant palatability of the honey.
And how I envision taking it, apart from everyone's like, oh my gosh, I'll put that in some soda water or whatever.
A flask. We just had someone tell us it was.
Yeah, but that's one where you could do that kind of just like a little drop. You know, it's like it's enough to like bing. Okay, yeah.
And the key with herbs, as you probably all know, is to continue to use them throughout the day. They only work if you use them. Right. But if you are really thinking about supporting your cognitive health, tinctures like this are wonderful. We have a mindful tincture with rosemary in it. But those, just take them throughout the day. Like you say, just like have a little, it doesn't have to be a lot, but just a little bit to kind of get the juices flowing, as they say.
Cognitive stimulation, cerebral activation.
And we all need to protect our brains in these days because there's a lot of toxicity that we are exposed to. Yeah. And so anything we can do to protect that is helpful. And this is a wonderful product for that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Malcolm, who are you?
Yeah, who am I?
Some people may not know who I am. Malcolm's very well known because this is his shop.
Right.
I came along...
Although when I first started doing the conversation with Blaine, they're like, who's that other guy on there? Is that Yarrow Willard?
You and Yarrow probably get confused with each other a lot.
Yeah.
It doesn't help that you're friends hanging out.
Yeah.
Into the herbs.
Right. Okay. So when did we first meet? How long have we known each other?
We've known each other for a very long time because I came to the old shop.
Yeah.
Right. I had my first child and I would bring him into the shop.
Right.
When it was just the little, like you didn't have the bar. You just had the little tiny, little Madeline would sit there.
Yeah.
And like somebody would be there, and that's, I think, where we first met.
Yeah.
And then you started having classes, and I started either coming and I think volunteering for the classes because I wanted to learn more.
Yeah.
And so that was, I don't know, a long time ago.
And that would have been your CSNN days?
Yes. I graduated from CSNN in 2009. When did you open Light Cellar?
Oh, I don't know by a year. I know by like my son is 4.5. That we were here for 4.5 years. The previous location was 10 years.
Okay, so about the same. Yeah. So that was it was very helpful because the Light Cellar's always been a place with, I know, good quality and whole foods. Like I just like stuff that's not, I don't want to buy nuts that are rancid, for example.
Right. Yeah.
And so I knew there was good turnover. So between you and another shop that I go to, Amaranth, I go there all the time as well. Yeah. I was like, those are my places.
Yeah.
And so nutrition was what first brought me to Light Cellar.
And you worked at Amaranth for a number of years, too.
I did work at Amaranth for a number of years, and I still love that place.
Oh, yeah. What a great community. I remember being in, was it junior high or high school, I think, when they first opened? Yeah, they had the one little store. I had a friend that used to work there.
Yeah. They're a lovely little family business. A good complement, I think, to this.
Absolutely.
So I started studying herbalism more seriously. I had always had my teacher, Colleen Emery, of Emery Herbals. Shout out to her. She makes awesome stuff. Yeah. She was my herbalist first when she lived in Calgary, and then she moved to near Nelson, Winlaw, and then I just kept in touch with her, and then she was like, why aren't you studying herbalism? Because I'm like, hey, did you know? She's like, yeah, of course I knew that, but you should be studying herbalism.
Yeah.
So she has a really great online program.
Yeah.
And so I started studying with her, and then didn't really want to work in the retail space but anymore. But you made me an offer that I couldn't refuse, which was to help make production. So there's many roles at the Light Cellar. Many people do many different things. Yeah. And it's such a great team and such a great place to work. And I was like, well, I get a chance to be in the kitchen making stuff.
And applying all this herbal knowledge that you're developing.
Yes. Too. So it's it's a good place for me to be because I learn a lot as much as I get to apply the things that I've learned outside of the shop, in the shop. And so,
no, it's great. It's good fun. We challenge each other in our knowledge and application of it all.
Yes,
and we have a very similar journey, coming from nutrition. It was just such a natural progression for me to herbs was this whole other world of fascination and learning that I could get into, and then especially there's that crossover of like once you're studying nutrition, you're like, okay, wild foods are where it's at, but where does the line draw between wild food and wild medicine? Like it's kind of all interrelated. So
and I think Colleen first introduced me to it, and then Daniel Vitalis had said it once in his interview about herbal teas. Like, to me, they're like a supplement. They're like the ultimate supplement because herbs are so close to their wild counterparts. Yeah. Whereas many of the foods we eat have been domesticated and have been, they're still great foods, but they are a little bit more theistic. No, that's the wrong mono, but you know what I mean. Yeah. They're very similar. And when you have herbs, you have plants that are very, very similar to how they were 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago. Yeah. And they can maintain a lot of those qualities.
Potent chemistry, like where you actually can't eat them as a food, like wild lettuce as the example. Like that has to be like herb medicinal because no one's going to sit down and eat a big bowl of wild lettuce. But the domesticated hybridized variety, great, glad it exists, but it's that way because it's so far removed from its wild progenitor, which is so potent. Yeah.
So I love that about herbs. That was my first herb thing, was herbal teas.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Now you're getting into all the different forms of extraction.
Yes.
Yeah. And again, that's part of the fun and the engagement of, being your own herbalist, learning about the herbs, how to properly prepare them, extract them, and
this is hard as a Virgo. I'm a Virgo, and you always make mistakes.
Right.
There are no mistakes.
Yeah. Well,
but you always kind of like discover lessons, and then it's like, oh man. But we were pretty good, especially with Alex in the kitchen. He's pretty good about finding ways to use mistakes constructively that can still be beneficial. So I'm enjoying learning a lot of lessons.
Cool. Right on. Well, it's a pleasure and honor to,
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm glad you built this place. It's handy, isn't it, everyone? Yeah.
Cool. So there's Angela. Next time you're in the shop, you'll see her on the floors in the morning sometimes, but mostly she's in the back doing the production. But
you can always, if you ever want to talk to me about something we've made or you have questions, just yell my name.
Yeah, or email too. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
As well. So. Cool. All right. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode.
See you later, everyone.
Thank you so much for tuning in. If you've enjoyed today's episode, be sure to give us a like, share this with someone you know who would benefit, and subscribe so you're up to date with all the new episodes coming out. You can shop online at lightcellar.ca as well as visit us in the heart of Bowness in Calgary, Alberta.